MLB The Show Team Affinity Chapter 2 from Season 2 is officially off and running. And for the most part, it's been pretty good. We sort of overviewed a lot of the stuff yesterday in the video, so that'll be right above my head here probably. But today I wanted to sort of do what we did last time. Sort of look around, look at some of the other stuff, look at the cards in there, kind of see how it's going to build and all this other stuff, and sort of go from there as we sort of overview this thing. Best way to do this, best way to look, and best way to kind of just grind it out, because it's going by a lot faster than I think I anticipated. But I just wanted to show, let's show off the cards, let's sort of see what we think the best cards are, kind of go from there and sort of strategery here, and see what we can come up with. Alright. So here's the full scope of everything, right? Here's everything. This is where I'm at. A little under 24 hours in. Here, we took this off to the OS. So we're at our highest here is 52% for the Central, which is probably the best divisions here. And AL Central's a little low, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to go through and say which one's the best, which one's the worst per se. Although I'm just going to, you know what? I will. I'm going to tell you what the worst one is. The worst one here is my AL West. Nothing here screams off the page. Jose Altuve, I think's quantifiably okay. He gets the boost from Devers, so I think the Devers boost might be the better pick for now. Devers is going to be good. Castillo's not really useful. I think they're a couple for Corbin, but there also might be just an All-Star Game captain coming Wednesday for 2024. So if that's the case, all these cards will have pretty good value. You might see a lot of all-star teams kind of run. I don't necessarily know per se what will happen there. We might get one, we might not. We'll kind of see. I didn't expect them to go back to the tops now stuff. So that might happen. If that happens, this card will be really, really interesting to see. Well, the 113, 117 will definitely play. The 97 and the 76 will be okay. And again, if you put him on the Devers team, the power is gonna go up. So I think he's a decent card, but in the best card in this division. I talked about this yesterday briefly. Tyler Anderson just angers me. I hate him. I don't want him anywhere near me. He throws a whopping 89 miles an hour. He's gonna lob it up in there. The hit per nine's 110. The K per nine's god awful low. His walk per nine's okay. I mean, his control is. Oh God! Look, I mean, your fastball control is 75. I'm gonna leave that there. Break is okay. The break's fine. The cutter sinker combo might play. I don't personally see how it will, because he's just gonna lob it up there, but he's there. Mason Mills is a fascinating piece. I don't understand why he's got 3 pitches, a fastball, slider, and circle change, but his high hit per nine, high K per nine do intrigue me. He's not better than his live series counterpart, which, I mean, take that for what it is with the Castillo boost. Control wise, the 80s will be okay, I guess. He's got movement. He plays, but again, it's the 3 pitches where it's like hard, not as hard, not as hard, right? I think the speed differential there will probably play. He does have outlier, so the speed differential will be there, so he might be able to play, but I think in very, very short spurts. Logan Gilbert is, again, fascinating to me. The stat attributes kind of play. Again, I'm making the assumption we're going to be getting a 2024 All-Star captain. So that, if that happens, these will be, ignore everything I'm saying. Sort of looking at him, only Road Warrior, 96 on the high end. His slowest is an 83. It'll play a little bit. Cutter's decent enough with the movement. Pitch control, his slider's his best pitch. Splitter's his worst pitch. Break is decent enough. Again, I'm not sure how these things will necessarily play out online, because for some people it could work. But again, if you need a theme team, it'll work. I just don't necessarily know velocity and all this stuff. Guy who shouldn't be an All-Star, Marcus Semien. His swing's good enough. I don't think it is what it is. Some people are like his swing. I think his swing's okay. But again, numbers wise, he doesn't really do much against right. Left is kind of okay. His clutches makes up for it a little bit, but I think putting him in a situation against righties is rough, and I don't necessarily know where you're going to hit him. I guess if you want to be crafty, you could put him in the 2-hole and just hope and pray that you get on with the double and let the higher clutch take over there for the righties. Because then if 106.84 is a little bit more tolerable, but then the flip side happens if he's lefty, he's going to drop down to 104. So keep that in mind. But I think the OS is definitely the worst division. I don't know why I started with the worst, but I wanted to say, like, definitively that was it. I guess. The best... Okay, we'll just start. So that was the worst. Who's the best? It might be the NL Central because of these three dudes right here. Elly De La Cruz is always... Elly De La Cruz is balanced. His clutches has a little bit desire. He's fast. He's got an arm. His fielding will be decent enough. And he just plays really well. The vision's rough. You could bring back Buxton if you wanted to. I don't think it's been an issue. I think his swing plays pretty well, to be honest with you. I think his speed plays really well. He's balanced enough. He's an only card in the Corbin boost. I think this card's really good. It was the first card I got. But Elly is definitely a good card, to say the least. And it sort of going the trio of really good cards. You know what you're going to get with Christian Yelich with the 120, 80, 86, 110. Fielding, he's just above Devers, which is interesting. But again, really good swing. You know what you're going to get from this card, and what he's going to produce. Going to be a lot worse. But I think he's going to play. I think he's going to get enough lift. Brian Reynolds is another sort of favorite card. Really balanced, 101, 94, 102, 93. His clutch is higher, so he can basically be anywhere in the lineup. Fielding's decent enough. You know you're gonna get with Brian Reynolds, a good switch hitter. I didn't see what his clutch was. His clutch is 101. Yeah, he's gonna get it. He'll be about the same anyway. That was Elly. Shota, I thought his 99 was mid. I think this card's gonna be kind of a softer version of that variant. Controls okay. The cutter's there. The slurve's there. I think people have a tendency. I think people overreact to the cutter, but they like the movement. He's got enough sort of differentiating to maybe kind of work. The biggest thing with him, I don't know. On higher levels like Hall of Fame, which I don't necessarily like to judge cards by, because I don't think the vast majority of players are in Hall of Fame. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I think when you're looking at speed differential, it might be okay. It's a 25-hour speed differential. And if you're playing this thing enough, a lot of these, like the split and the slurve, could look very similar if you kind of, in terms of velocity. But we'll ultimately see. I think he's probably, like I said, the fourth best card. The worst card here is Ryan Helsley. The 3 pitches just don't excite me. 4-seam sliders, curve. I think his live series suffers the same issue. He throws hard, so if you're into that, I mean, outlier 102, which we have plenty of. Similar to the Mason Miller, I think he'll work in a drag race situation. Just one inning, poof, get in there, get out. For the most part, is he gonna? I wouldn't use him as a closer. I think there's better ones, but again, I think it's just a matter of preference. I know when it comes to bullpen arms, you're not really in a position to be like, pick and choose. But he's one at a 95 that you might want to pass on. But that's just my opinion. Those are like the 2 outliers. Everything else is kind of in the middle. So let's just sort of start with the AL East. The AL East here is an interesting blend. Corbin Burnes will always be a top pitcher, but as others have said, he's seen so much that he's probably a little bit easier to read. Cutter sinker at 95. Can't ask for more there. Curveball's at 80, so there's the differential. He's got the slider, the changeup. Again, I think it's just a matter of you see him so much for the last few years as a top pitcher in the game and a top pitcher in the league that he's just kind of seen. It is what it is with him, with Corbin Burnes cards at this point. He's a good card. Tanner Houck, a little bit funkier, a little bit different. He doesn't throw as hard. His primary pitch slider is his slowest at 84. He could be different enough to kind of spice things up. Some people really like these Tanner Houck cards because they're funky. I know for a while they had the Chris Sale motion. He doesn't anymore. But I think he's decent enough to be in a vacuum, to be a little bit spicy, a little bit different, which is really what we want. A little bit of variety here. and all that. I mean, should have been Tanner Hawk. I don't know. Some people, I was reading online where people were like, why wasn't it Jaron Duran? I don't know. I mean, do I agree with that? I wish there was a center fielder because there is no primary center fielder sent in here, which is mind-boggling to me. But it is what it is. Juan Soto is an interesting one as well because somebody this card, his clutch is 125, so I think that alone in the positions he's going to be hitting in is going to be good enough. His power's okay. It's Juan Soto. I think everyone sort of loves Juan Soto cards, and plus it's a free card. I'm not, as much as I'm like, I think there's tiers to this card. I think looking at him, could they did him a little better? Yes. Do I think did they do it okay? Did they do adequately? Yeah, they did it adequately. I wish some stuff was a little bit better, but he's balanced. He's going to have 125. You know what Juan Soto cards are. You hit him and rip him. Is he better than this live series? Yeah, I think he's not better than some variants, but hey, that's neither here nor there. This card is fascinating to me. Isaiah Paredes. 93, 102, 113, 85. I literally just took this card because I was like, hey, let's be a little bit different. I think this card is one of those cards that I think is going to be different. 109 clutch on the left-handed side. It's not going to see him budge. A lot different. He's going to feel a little bit better playing against righties. The power is, I think, good enough. Like I said, this card's just fascinating to me. He's a different card. He got a finest last year. So I think this can use a trend of like unsung cards. And again, this is what the All-Stars thing should be. That's why people will say like, it should have been Jared Durant. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I look at something like Isaiah Paredes. I'm like, dang, that'd be cool if Jared Durant had something like this. That would be fun. He might get a card though later anyway. We don't know. Vlad to me is the sort of disappointment here. 107, 83, 102, 88. Just under the threshold. I always had weird issues with Vlad swings. I don't know if it's just me. But his clutch being 100 is you're not gonna. I don't think maybe you'll see a difference. I couldn't tell you. I think it's decent enough. I think they could have boosted it a little bit, but again, it comes down to kind of like the weird balancing act of everything. But again, that's not too shabby. It's just it didn't excite me. Same thing here with time the NL East. Ronaldo Lopez is a fascinating thing to me. Fastball, slider, circle change, 12-6 curve. I don't know how quantifiable some of this stuff is, but hey, it works. He's got. I mean, the 4 pitches. It's kind of difficult. I think I like the 5 pitches because I feel like I can bounce back a little. Or maybe some people find him and be like, "This card's great. This card's great." Could be. Tanner Scott again is similar. I put him in the same vein as Ryan Helsley. Bullpen's hard, especially lefties. He's got a sinker now, so that I think that helps him. It'll play a little bit better. But I feel like Tanner Scott's gotten he's the back-to-back guy for the Marlins. I know that's because the Marlins only have one All-Star, but he was used last time, so now you're just replacing Tanner Scott cards. I never thought I could say why does Tanner Scott have multiple diamonds, but here we are. Pete Alonso is Pete Alonso. Clutch is 90, so it's not going to change a lot. He's going to hit homers. This is the most balanced Pete card I think I've seen. He's getting a homer and derby card, so it could either be way better than this. It could be way worse than that. So keep that kind of mentality in mind here with some of these cards, especially Pete, because Pete could get a 125 power card if he wins the derby. I don't know if he's going to, but I want to throw that out there. So this could change a little bit. I don't think this card's necessarily bad. I don't think this card is necessarily good. I think it's just is what it is. It's balanced as all hell, which is good. He's going to get more power at the Devers boost, so Devers might be the new captain after this. So this card's honestly pretty good. It's pretty middle of the road. Zach Wheeler's probably the best card here, but I don't know. I'm not the biggest Zach Wheeler fan in the game. 4-seam sinker, cutter, slurve, splitter. It is what it is. It's I think he sort of fits the same boat as Corbin Burns. I think people seen enough and they've seen the motion enough with a lot of it, and his motion doesn't change because of the modified stretch. So I think he's easy to read. If you want to take him first, I understand it. Same with Corbin Burns. If you want to take Corbin Burns first, I understand it. I get it. It's just a matter of where you see yourself, what your team needs. I don't know what your team needs, but it's the same thing. Is this card the best card here in the NL East? Probably. Would I get it first? I don't know. Like I said, sort of up to you. I think I took Pete. TJ Abrams, the card I think could have been way better. His clutch is only 100. The 109 contact, the 96 109 contact is okay. They could have buffed his power up to 80, I thought, against left. But, I mean, for what he's doing, I think is decent enough. It just feels odd. It feels odd to me. But I think this card will play fine. Again, he's a card I think you'll get later on. Maybe he does a little bit better, but he just doesn't have... He misses so many boosts, it feels like, to a certain degree by a little bit. I don't know why they did this last year, too. Or they did it last season. It just felt weird to me. It was odd. All right, let's talk about the NL Central, which also is really, really good. Garrett Crochet doesn't have outlier. I don't think that's changed in the 24 hours. He throws really, really hard. The cutter, slider, circle change. I didn't like his award series card. This card probably will perform the same way if I had to guess. But again, you know what you're going to do. It's left-handed pitching. Yeah. Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you need to do. You got to do your thing. Right? There you go. Josh Naylor is an abysmal piece of junk. I don't mean that to discredit Cleveland by any stretch of the imagination, but I have never looked at a card and went, that's Josh Naylor. Kind of middling contact. His clutch is 87. Power against righties and decent power against lefties. I have never seen a card that I think looks and I go, yeah, that's Naylor. That makes sense. His card is what it is. It's probably the last card you're going to get. Unless you really like Josh Naylor. I'm just saying, this card is strikingly accurate. So I think he's going to be. Tarak Skubal. I don't do well with him. Four seam, circle change, slider, sinker, knuckle curve. It could be his motion. I have no idea. Decent enough card. I think this is one of those cards. If you want to take one, I completely understand. I took Salvi, but if you want to take him, I think this makes sense. It works. You know what you're going to get with him. Decent enough stuff there. He's a good card. I took Salvi, and if you see the numbers there, you know why. His clutch is 125, 105, 101, 114, 90. Decent fielding, decent all this stuff. Everything about him to me is just like basic Salvi. I love Salvi swings. So this card was the first one I added. Do I think he should have been the starting catcher? I said yesterday, or in the catching. No, I think Joe Hoppy should have been there too. But that's neither here nor there. But Salvi's a good card. I'm glad it's not like another Bobby Witt. I don't know. I'm glad I'm okay with this. Yeah, with you. And then last but not least, Carlos Correa. If I recall correctly, he's on par with his monthly awards card. A little bit more power, but again, I don't know if there's gonna be a cap that's kind of gonna boost it. Clutch is 107, so it's not exactly gonna matter a whole lot. Way better against lefties on the power side. Decent enough contact. Fielding's good enough. Not a bad card. I don't know if it's necessarily better than his 92 counterpart, but I think it'll be right there if you don't have it. So good enough replacement, I think, there. I think the last one here is the good old NL West. I think these first two cards are probably 1 and 2, and you couldn't go wrong with either or. Ketel Marte being perfect against lefties is huge. Clutch will bring it down a little bit, but I don't think that matters a whole heck of a lot. The righty side, take it or leave it. His fielding's good enough to play for second base. Outfield, I don't think I necessarily put him there. I would just leave him at second base personally because his reaction's 80, and with the downgrade, it's gonna be rough. But he will have diamond out there, but it'll be like bronze reaction, and reactions are weird. I took Brian McMahon first because golly gee willikers. 102, 94, 118, 104. His clutch is 93, so it'll move the needle a smidgen. But I think you can't go wrong with any of those first two cards. I think they're disgusting. I think they're amazing. So good luck. Pick one of them. You're not going to go wrong. I like Tyler Glasnow. Let me state that. I like him. I don't know why. I've always liked him. Four-seam slider, curve and a sinker. His motion's really quick. If you want to use him to grind, go for it. Get some parallels with this card. I like it. He doesn't have outlier or anything. But I think I've liked the cards. I don't know why. I'm a weirdo. What do I know? Get the card. I don't. But again, these two, I would say get your first. Luis Arias I hit the wrong button. Luis Arias is a fascinating card because 125, 67, 59, 117. The Devers boost would give him a little bit more pop, so he's going to be interesting lad. Because I think it's plus 15 at max, so he's going to have a little bit more pop. He could be a double machine, kind of similar to maybe like a Rod Carew, but he's going to be popping more balls in the gap, I think, as a first baseman, which is interesting to say the least, in my opinion. So he could have some value there. Personally, if you want to throw him out there, so I think his swing's good enough to play. We'll kind of see how it goes. Logan Webb's, I think, one of these guys that's sneaky good. His sinker, circle change, slur, four-seam cutter. I think that he's sneaky good. He could be if you wanted to. I mean, look at the pitch control. Drooling. If you wanted to get him sooner rather than later, I don't blame you. I think it's decent enough. I think his rain in 22 was pretty good. But again, it comes down to like what you need. If you say like, oh, I want the pitching, get the pitching. I think you get these cards really, really quick. I briefly want to talk about these missions. I'm still working on these kind of slowly because I'm forgetting to put these guys in. But yeah, you're getting stuff really, really quick here. These missions are quick. General missions too. They want you to get stuff with the live series stuff. So don't be afraid to put those in there and use the Castillo boost. Go crazy for this stuff. But you're going to get a lot of stuff really, really quick. Honestly, player changes are also really useful if you're not. I'm reaching the point where I'm not necessarily flipping as much. So if you do all these, you're gonna get the first one, and I think you'll be fine. You're gonna get this stuff really quickly. I've never been this far this quickly in my playing this year. There's nothing else there. Do the missions. The vouchers, I'm not higher. You get 35 for 10. I don't know how many you're getting. The conquest just gives you 30k across the board, so that's good. You can kind of double dip there. So you're probably, I think you're going to be doing this fairly quickly. If I had to guess, I don't even think the multiplayer stuff is necessarily what you're gonna even need to do anyway. These repeatable missions are fine. It's just NOS cards. You can load them up and just go wild. It seems like it's going to go faster, so getting the stuff is going to be way quicker. I mean, look at the progress. I mean, I didn't sit around and play this all day. I kind of played for a couple hours this morning before I recorded and did this. So you're going to be flying through this and all that stuff. So in terms of the collection, I think I briefly talked about this yesterday. So just completing it's going to get you a Chris Sale, which we can talk about these guys. Chris Sale and Emmanuel Clase. I think I said this yesterday. 3 pitches, it's just all hard. It's not going to really do it for me. I don't know why they always use the Emmanuel Clase cards. He throws hard, so you might see him a little bit. He's got outlier 1. So the cutter's going to be even harder, which is interesting. Again, the second free card you're going to get, so you're going to have a 30. You're going to be 1 card off by Monday, right? Because it's 30. 30 plus 2 plus 7 is 9. Yeah, so we have 39. So you'll be 1 away from Tatis. They did it on purpose, didn't they? But there's a program, so you'll probably get Tatis. You're theoretically going to be getting 3 cards here for free. So we'll look at Tatis too, and a little more in depth. Slider, four seam, circle change, and sinker. His funky arm motion's funky, and it's a free 99. I think the Class A is also 90. So you're getting 2 free 99. So you're going to see a lot of this guy. So get used to seeing him. He's funky. He might be throwing people off enough. And again, you're probably going to get Tatis also for free kind of as the week goes on here. The right fielder, his clutch is 108, 115, 109, 103, 83. He's a decent 99. You know what he's going to be doing out there. He's disgusting. I don't know if we're going to get enough for free to get Paul Skeens, but we'll talk about good old Paul Skeens here. I love Paul Skeens cards, I think. I don't use them a lot, but I think they're pretty good. He's the NL starter, which is kind of cool. Slider, splitter, four-seam splitter, slider, slur, Vulcan change. And by the way, he has outlier 2, so these 2 pitches he's got 2 extra hard pitches. And he's a starter. I don't think he's going to get another card. So I don't necessarily know if you're going to get to Paul Skeens out of the gate pretty quickly here, but get the 6 at the wild card slot. You're at least going to get probably, I would guess, to Tatis fairly easy. And by the way, too, if you went and do the event and get the Riley Green, you'll get him. If you get one of them, you get to Riley Green in the event, you'll get Tatis for free once you complete Team Affinity. So keep that in mind. If you do the event to, oh no, I'm sorry, you do it to Cole Reagan's. Ah, that's my bet. It was Cole Reagan's, not not Riley Green. So if you do have to Cole Reagan's, who I think's a 95, right? Is he in here? Cole Reagan's. He's probably here somewhere. Yeah, there he is. If you go up to Cole Reagan's, you'll get him for free. So if you get 10 wins in the next couple days, you're gonna get Tatis. So you'll get the two for finishing. So like I said, you get 25 to 26, 30, 31. 30 and 2, sorry, 30 and 2, and then the 30, 33 and 7. So you can get Tatis, so you just get that point. So that might be beneficial to get there. Again, I don't know how many cards they're releasing. It's probably gonna be a lot. We'll see how many they're gonna give away. I don't know. There could be a free pack or something, but these are all this year, and they're gonna be. It says players and tiers will be added as we go along, so I don't know if they're adding more, if they're gonna be putting stuff in the middle, but at least we know you're going to be getting these stuff for free, and if you get up to a certain point, you could theoretically get Tatis for free. So that's all of it, and also, as always, for the love of God, go in here and collect as you go. So this will be going there. I hadn't collected in a while, and I goofed, and I didn't realize how many I had. I thought I was way behind. I apparently had 100, so I actually have more, because I got the vault pack, and I got 2 more, so I'm at 102. So I am way closer than I actually thought I was, because I was a dummy and didn't collect as I went. So don't do what I do, and collect your cards. Yeah. That's a little bit looking more in depth here. Enjoy the grinding double XPs here all week. I want to keep reiterating that as much as I can. So play it. I know there's other stuff on the horizon, but go play it. Play it. You'll knock yourself out. Take advantage of this. Take advantage if it's really hot, because it's like hot everywhere. So take advantage of all that and all that said stuff. So leave a like, subscribe if you like it, dislike it. My name is Specs. I'll see you guys all in the next one.